cheese and rice, my dudes, we had the unfortunate pleasure of watching the 1981 film Roar, which features like a billion animals. And like, no joke, you guys, it's a movie. You can watch it. Don't recommend it. But did you know that literally by the end of its production, it featured close to 150 big cats? And we're talking like lions, cougars, and tigers. Or that it was in production hell for 11 years. Learn all about this and more as we're hoofing it in Hollywood.
The birds and the beasts are on the screen. They're the ones that you have seen. You've watched them since childhood as a hoofing it in Hollywood.
Roar.
Roar?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hoofing It in Hollywood. I'm your host, Paul, and today I got with me my co-host, Jordan.
Here.
Melissa.
Hey, guys.
And Audrey.
Hello.
All right, welcome back for the second season of Hoofing It in Hollywood. You probably didn't even know you were listening to a first season, but now we're in the second season where we got some changes, some kind of cooler stuff going on, so
We're back.
get ready for it.
We're here.
Took a whole month off. Woo-wee.
You know, I missed everybody. Just kidding, because I saw you, but I missed this.
Me too.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Take it away, Jordan.
Okay, we all watched this movie. So what's one word you would use to describe Roar? And you can't say roar.
Mayhem.
I have to go with catastrophe. Catastrophe.
Did you
Oh.
think about that one?
I'm going with disappointed.
Like Hercules, disappointed.
I was going to say disappointment.
I'm going with, is fever dream one word if you hyphenate it?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. Roar, 1981 release. What was it even marketed as? It started out as they were calling it a fierce wild animal film. And that didn't go too well with test audiences because of the content. So then they marketed it as a family-friendly film. Also missed the mark. So it came out as a ferocious comedy, is what they ended up calling it. Quick show of hands, who thought this was a comedy? That's what I thought. Nobody thought this was a comedy. At least intentionally.
Parts of it, possibly.
They had comedy beats. They tried.
They tried.
It was directed by Noel Marshall, who actually executive produced The Exorcist. And it was written by Noel Marshall and Ted Cassidy, who was a voice actor, also played Lurch in The Addams Family. And it also was written by the Lions. Written by Lions, you ask? Yeah, it was credited, some of the Lions, as writers. It said, since the choice was made to use untrained animals, and since for the most part they chose to do as they wished, it's only fair they share the writing and directing credits. That was at the very beginning of the movie. So some of the Lions were credited with the writing. Because of things like the skateboarding scene, playing with the boat, and interacting with some of the family members was unscripted and real, and Lions just do what Lions do.
I don't get how that's part of the story, though.
Yeah, me either.
It made it in the movie, Paul. It's part of the story. And I also wanted to highlight the cinematographer, Jan de Bont, because he went on to be the director of photography of Die Hard, and he also directed Speed and Twister, which is one of my favorite 90s movies of all time.
That's insane that he went from this to that.
And then the animal stars. What can we say about the animal stars? The script originally called for 30 lions. And they decided that it was going to be impossible to try to get 30 trained lions all in one spot. I mean, it just wasn't a thing that you could do back then. They chose to do it another way, which they got lions themselves and they raised them themselves so that they would be kind of accustomed to people and accustomed to working. So what they ended up with was like nearly 150 lions. There were 26 tigers, a tigon, 9 black panthers, 10 cougars, 2 jaguars, 4 leopards, 2 elephants, 6 black swans, 4 Canada geese, 4 cranes, 2 peacocks, 7 flamingos, marabou stork, and 155 taters.
Nothing like going from 30 animals to like 150.
Yeah.
It's just, they had a menagerie. No hippopotamuses. They were They had a chance to get one, and they actually turned it down.
Oh, man.
Thank goodness. I'm actually shocked that they did that,
Right.
that they made a choice that was good.
Some of the human stars, Noel Marshall, the guy who scripted it, written and directed it, he was the dad. Tippi Hedren, who was the woman from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And young Melanie Griffith, who later starred in Working Girl and Cecil B. Demented. Okay, so the most dangerous film ever made. So let's talk about some of the bad things that happened. There were 140 people that worked on the movie over the 10 years, and 70 to 100 of them were injured in some way, whether it be by the lions or some of the elements that were present in the California desert. Jan de Bont, the photographer, was scalped by a lion. He was in a trench that they had made so that he could get a really low shot. They had put a green tarp over him so the lions wouldn't notice him. And they did it for like a few takes in a row. The first few takes went fine. By fourth take, the lion was getting bored and it kind of found that he was down there and it just swiped down just to see what it was. And it ended up just ripping his scalp off, basically. He needed 220 stitches and then came back to work. Maybe not the very next day, but came back to work after that to work with the lion some more. Tippi Hedren broke her ankle dismounting an elephant. They actually showed the scene of her breaking her ankle in the movie, but they just reversed it so it didn't look like she was falling. And she also got bit at one point, and she needed stitches, 38 stitches. Melanie Griffith was clawed across her face, needing 50 stitches. She required plastic surgery. Noel Marshall himself was bitten multiple times. There's a scene in the movie where a lion actually just grabs him and takes him off camera. He was hospitalized at one point with blood poisoning. He, too, was a trooper, came back, and kept recording. The show must go on. So, a dangerous movie, you guys. Box office is kind of weird to talk about for this one. They ended up spending around $17 million over the course of 10-ish years to get this thing made. And then it didn't even release in the United States at first. In 1981, when it got released, the son of Noel Marshall said that his dad was just not accepting any of the offers that came his way. I don't know if there was really any bigger reason for it than that, but he just sat on it. And then they kind of had an international deal where it played in Germany and Japan, but it only grossed like $2 million. It just wasn't popular. It was praised a little bit for the message of the now current Roar Foundation and the foundation that Tippi set up and some of their goals, which is keeping people from trading and buying wild cats and stuff and giving them a home after it's done. But other than that, not much was to be said in praise of the movie. No plot, the editing was atrocious. Like everything was just kind of in shambles. But I will say that, like, again, the cinematographer, the cameraman was just insane.
Off of what you were saying with the editing, there were parts when we were watching it, because we watched it on YouTube. Everybody, if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube.
Free, yeah.
Free. But we started it, and the editing was so bad that I was like, is this the actual version of it? Or
Like a fan edit, like someone...
Nope, it's the actual movie and the way it was edited.
This is all based on the family went on a outing on like a safari, and they actually saw a house where there were a bunch of lions. It was like an old park ranger's house or something, and it was abandoned, and they found a whole family of lions, and it just like sparked something in their brain, mostly Noel's brain probably, but everybody loved it, and they decided they wanted to make a movie of it, and it took them 10 years to make this movie. So that's where all of this is coming from. It's something they actually saw when they were on safari in Africa. Yeah, let's talk about the movie itself a little bit. There's no animal rules. I've been saying animal rules, but this is just insanity. Just animals going completely crazy the entire movie. And when I say completely crazy, like crazy, they're biting people, they're maiming people, and it's all caught on film. It's not gory, most of it, but it's weird, man.
Yeah.
And so it's about a man named Hank who lives in Tanzania. He lives in this house with this collection of cats that he's studying. So he's getting paid to study these animals, ostensibly. He's scheduled to pick his family up from the airport also. At the time, he's warned by his friend Mativo that there's a committee coming to review his grant. They're like, you're doing some crazy stuff. We don't want to keep giving you this money. Why they don't want to give him money is because these cats are dangerous, one of them says. And there's this rogue lion named Togar. That's the one you're going to have to worry about. Togar, the rogue lion that comes in, and he's picking on all the other lions, always starting fights, and that's the only one you have to worry about. There's a guy named Prentice that's in the committee. He's set up as the villain. He wants to kill the cats.
Boy, I've been waiting to do this for a long time.
Don't you think we should wait?
We shouldn't load anything smaller than a 30 or 6 for lion.
So it's Togar, the bad one. Help me out with our other cat's name, the main one, the good one.
Robbie?
Robbie.
Robbie.
Okay, sorry.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie's the main cat that we're gonna probably be talking about. He's like the good guy. Togar's the bad guy. Prentice is the bad guy. So this sets up a huge scene at the beginning where the committee gets there and they're just immediately swarmed by lions and other assorted big cats. People are jumping into the water to try to get away from them, and then the cats are just pouncing on them in the water, biting their heads, biting them on the necks, just attacking them, and they just run around and act crazy for 30 minutes. And then Hank decides to leave there and go pick up his family, but they've already left the airport, so they miss each other.
Dumbest fucking story.
Hank and Motivo have several adventures. One includes borrowing a guy's car to get these lions where they need to go, but then he wrecks the car that he just borrowed from his friend. Then they have to walk some more. So he's basically just trying to get back to the house at this point. Well, the family has already arrived at the house, and they're obviously getting nonstop chased by lions. There's not much more. Like, you think that I'm skipping over key details, but there's nothing. The family arrives at the house, and they just see lions, and the lions start chasing them. They're like, ah! And they just start running around. And this house, when I said fever dream, this house has 732,000 doors. And they just keep going through doors and shutting doors behind them. And then the lions just push the door down like it's nothing. And then they go into another room and and it just does this for 30 minutes straight. They just keep going from room to room, hiding in places, getting attacked. And it just keeps switching back and forth between their adventure and then the dad's adventure. So there's not much cohesiveness. There's no story building other than like nothing, just showing that this dad is completely crazy and doesn't care about his kids, or, is just like fine with them being around these animals. I guess he trusts the animals not to hurt them, but Togar's loose. He's just going to leave his family with Togar? So Tippi Hedren, the mom, is there, and then Melanie Griffith, who plays a character named Melanie, is there. And then I think there's two brothers who are also his kids in real life, but they're all there getting chased by these lions. They realize at some point that they're still alive after 2 days, and the lions don't actually want to kill them, so they're kind of chill.
Melanie, John, get away from those lions. Mom, if they wanted to get us, they would have done it while we were asleep.
As the dad's coming back, Prentice, the man who I talked about earlier, ends up hunting a bunch of the lions, and he shoots them, and then Togar comes and kills Prentice, and everybody meets back at the house, including Togar. Togar leaves and knows he has to go back to the house. The dad goes back to the house, and everybody comes back to the house for like one final showdown between Robbie and Togar, and they fight, and then the family stays there and lives. That's about it, man. That's all that happened in this movie.
And then don't they have just like a weird, like happy family reunion at the end?
Into
and
the
they're all
sunset,
like sipping
dude.
tea. Like, yeah, it didn't make any fucking sense, but
I hated that movie. I hated how I felt watching it.
it was so bad.
What are your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, it felt gross. At one point, I just wanted to fast forward. I was like, I'm so done with this movie.
Yeah.
This not movie.
Like, if you're going to do something that insane and monumental, why not nail it? You know what I'm saying?
They probably thought they were.
But that's why I'm disappointed, because they made the shittiest fucking movie out of it versus making
it could have been something crazy if they went with this crazy idea, which is filming 150 wild animals.
They had it all.
I will say, though, one of the only positives I took from it was their determination to get this fucking movie
Fair.
made.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had that kind of determination about anything, really. So that was a positive, but that's about it. Within the first couple minutes, like with the lions fighting, I literally looked at Jordan and was like, what the fuck is this? And my stomach like dropped. Like, it made me feel just like, ugh, like uneasy. Because I'm like, this should not be allowed. This is real.
Yeah.
This is legit. This is fucked up.
What was really scary was that there were scenes where you could tell that they were acting like they were afraid of the lions. But then there are other scenes where like one time when the lion was in the water on top of that guy and he was saying help, I think he really wanted help because it was pushing him under the water and he couldn't get out of its grasp. And they just put that in the movie.
Dude, his friend who's like with Noel the entire movie, literally every scene, he looks terrified to be with those cats.
For sure.
He looks like so scared.
I felt like watching the behind the scenes and just like reading about them, I truly feel like Noel is like a true psychopath. Like, just
100%.
could not think of consequences. Yeah, absolutely wild. And I kind of feel the same way about Jan, the guy filming. Like, when you watch behind the scenes of them, I'm like, these people are just like not in the same universe is everyone else.
Well, at least he had like the skills to pay the bills versus Noel, who like literally got billions of people basically to fucking deal with cats by themselves. Like,
He was just like a privileged rich dude.
I'm gonna start talking about Tippi Hedren a little bit. That like she kind of continued working with the animals after it. But the big thing was that she divorced him soon after the movie was finished, and she cited his combativeness and his aggressiveness towards her. She got a restraining order against him, and because of the same thing. And a lot of people said that he would freak out on set. If they missed a shot because somebody did something, he would just verbally berate them and just go kind of mental on them.
Yeah. I feel like Tippi was like well-meaning, kind of like she had her own issues, but like I think she was well-meaning.
Me too.
yeah.
Not him.
No.
Did you guys have a favorite scene?
My favorite scene was when they were hiding in a barrel of water to fucking
Yes.
try to get away from a lion.
I was gonna say when she was hiding in like that bookshelf or whatever the hell that was. They kept hiding in the stupidest places. I'm like, what are?
Yeah, they
and then
did.
they would get out.
Yeah, then they would get out. They would be safe, like relatively safe, and then they would just move for some dumb reason. The lions would be done with them, and then they would just be like, well, time to agitate the lions again.
My favorite scene had to be, so Gary was the little cub. He's Robbie's son. He was in the, like, towards the beginning of the movie. Do you remember when he was, like, in the hallway and he had him, like, just meowing?
gonna talk about that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Gary, come on, Gary. Gary, what's going on, Gary?
Well, hello, Gary. Wow. Why didn't you go with your friend? Oh.
Gary.
Okay. I'm going back in time. That was my favorite scene of the movie. I loved that scene.
My favorite scene was when they were getting in the boat and trying to escape, and that lion just kept pulling them closer, and then the guy pushed away with his oar, and the lion pulled him closer, and he pushed away with his oar. It happened 20 times. 20 times in one shot. This guy pushed away with his oar, and then the lion pulled him back. For the last part of this, let's talk about some of the reviews, and I'm actually going to have Mel read some of the audience reviews that people put in.
All right. RottenTomatoes.com's popcorn meter gives the movie a 52% average rating. So I'm going to read a couple of reviews. The first one gave it 5 stars, though, so they were very impressed. And they said, one of the most unexpectedly brilliant films I've ever seen.
No, you're not.
Citizens don't die without having watched this film.
You should absolutely die without watching this film.
I don't know, man. It was pretty, like, I want everybody to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
the craziness of it.
I think just seeing some of it, because it's literally one of the most monumental pieces of shit ever, but also monumental for what they did with the cats.
Yeah. Then we had another review, and unfortunately these people, they don't have a name, so I wish they had a name, but they give it a 1.5 star out of 5 and said, sorry, Doug, this was really horrible. Fucks Doug. They said, I watched it all and it didn't get any better. The main character's voice was extremely annoying, horrible acting as well. I must say that I was mesmerized by the animals, though.
Yeah.
So good on Doug, I guess, for telling them to watch it.
I think Doug might have been one of the fucking lions, because those lions had like insane names, from like the Ender of all seas to like John, which is crazy spectrum of names.
I found a few reviews on Letterboxd where the movie had an average rating of 3.2 out of 5 stars. And this review is from EdRev34, who gave it 3 stars and said, if this film was made today, it wouldn't be. But if it was, it'd be CGI soup and look like garbage and make millions. Also answers the question of, what would happen if you put lions and tigers in a house and let them roam free? Spoiler, the answer is pretty much what you expect, and it kind of rules.
Kinda. I mean, if you just watch, like, I could watch 30 minutes of those cats just playing around in that house. That would have been cool.
That would have been much more interesting.
Do you have anything else, Jordan?
No, sir.
All right. Well, someone actually told us about this film and put it on our radar, so we're now going to go over to him. Let's do some Hoofie Hellos.
You ready?
It's Hoofie Hellos.
Hello?
We actually learned about the film Roar from our friend who brought it to us and said, you got to check out this crazy film. And we have with us today Cody. So Cody, why don't you introduce yourself and imagine your life as a baseball card. What would the back of the baseball card stats say about you?
Batting 0 for 100 or something like that. I didn't know I had to do an intro. So, Jesus fucking Christ.
That pretty much sums you up, I feel like. So
Yeah.
How did you first learn about Roar?
So this will be pretty meta. I learned about it from a different podcast called Continue Pod.
Great podcast. Very good.
They were talking about Roar and just said it was this like insane movie. And so when I saw that you guys asked for like suggestions, I'm like, you guys should do Roar. And I've actually never seen it until you guys asked me to be on here. So I watched it for the first time last night, actually.
you're welcome.
How did you feel about the movie? And like, did it resonate with you on an emotional level?
10 minutes in, I think I texted me and Melissa and Jordan had like a group chat. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
It was just like, because they're in the room with all these like wild cats, right? And you're just like, your jaw is just like on the floor because this was, what was it, like 78 through like 81 or like whatever it was, or like 11 years. But like they weren't CGI, right? If this was made today, it'd be CGI and like you wouldn't fucking care but it's like, that's like the appeal is it's like it's actually like happening. It's so dangerous. It's just like insane. Like I've never seen anything like that before.
Did you start to become numb to it all after like 5 minutes?
So I'll tell you, so halfway through the movie again, when I'm like, okay, I'm not really watching a movie, right? So it struck me, and like as being like kind of a film theory nerd, is I'm like, this isn't like a movie, this is like an object. And that was a thought that I had. And then I'm like, where have like I read that before? And so I'm thinking, and it was Roger Ebert's review of Pink Flamingos. Okay, so he refused to rate the movie and just said it's not really a movie, like it's an object. In no way it doesn't. And I think what he said about that movie applies to this one even more. So like, you know, as far as like there's a loose plot but not much of one. There's not like a lot going on, but like what it is that it's because what they're doing on screen is real. Like that's the appeal. If it has anything to offer, it's that it's not simulated. And like I said before, like if those cats had been fake, we wouldn't care. We'd turn it off. But because it's like actually documented, like, you know, he's literally fucking a chicken or she's literally eating the dog poop. Like if that was fake, you'd be grossed out and turned off. But like that's the appeal, is because it actually, and you guys should do Pink Flamingos too. I'm sure that would be crazy how the animals were treated in that movie.
Yeah. I don't have to watch that one again. I've already watched it. So you guys can enjoy that one.
And I guess that was the thing about the movie, where you say it's not a movie. Like it did have a theme, right? It was kind of really, if you did just listen to the montage with the song like at the end, but it did have like a preservation theme, which is, I guess, like, you know, that was like the only, I think, message making it like really.
And I feel like it struggled with that too, though, where like it was there, but
did it come through for you when you watched it?
I mean, the song when they're like hugging the lions, I mean, I think it was really obvious. Was it done intelligently or like woven throughout the narrative? No, but the song at the end where they're hugging lions and it's like love is animals or whatever the fuck the lyric was. I mean, it definitely, like, you know.
All right, Cody. So the big question is, does this movie make you want to buy a big cat or a regular sized cat?
No, I've never been scared of big cats until I've watched the movie. I couldn't even imagine just like being in that room because they're just gonna get you. Like I can't believe they did it. Like I just can't. I was like awestruck throughout the entire thing.
That's because they're insane people.
Do you think Prentice deserved to die?
I don't know. He killed the lion. He probably shouldn't have had those 50 lions there objectively. So I mean, I don't know.
Were you impressed with the lions' performances, or did you have any thoughts about the lions? Could you tell the moments that they were trained to do versus the ones that were just lions being lions?
I'm gonna guess like the skateboarding lion was probably like, that was
one of the best parts of the movie.
I think that was listed in her book as a gift. So Tippi called these scenes the gift scenes, the ones where they didn't know what to expect. And I think she listed the skateboard one as one of those.
The skateboard one was listed as why they gave the lions a writing credit was because it skateboarded. And they're like, well, we had to. It's skateboarding.
If you could be a part of this movie today, which part of production would you want to do? Acting, directing, filming,
Lioning.
lion tamer.
Is my safety like guaranteed?
No, it's about as guaranteed as it was in the 70s.
Whatever, I don't know. Maybe like I'll get like an aerial shot or something. I would not want to be in the room with those fucking cats. I don't think I can do it. Maybe editing. I can edit it. That's fine after the fact. I'll do all post-production.
There you go.
That's it. That's all the questions I have.
Same. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for entertaining my suggestion. I think that was an interesting it was worth seeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Seriously, it was not a great film, but it was something that's ingrained in my brain that's gonna like.
Remember, it's not a film, it's an object.
Yeah,
remember?
exactly.
So, like, it's Stonehenge or something. Like it's a
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
All right, well, I will now turn it over to myself to do some Creature Chronicles.
What's that? It's Creature Chronicles.
So this movie is like my fear as a creative person that I'm going to put my heart and soul into something and it will just be absolute shit. Audrey, if this ever happens, just kill me, please. Don't let me continue on this earth. All right, let's talk about the animals of Roar. And I'm actually going to change this up a little bit because, as everyone's mentioned, there's like 10,000 animals in this. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the bigger groups. So we have lions, which are known for being social, but also territorial apex predators. We have tigers, they're solitary hunters. They're the largest cats. And then we also have cougars, panthers, jaguars, leopards featured in this film. And like, as you can imagine, they don't really mix well together.
I have to share my favorite quote from Tippi's book because I think it goes here, which is, big cat experts were still telling Noel that he was stark daft to try and make this movie. They predicted disaster. Multiple big cats of mixed breed would be put in totally unnatural situations. And then, so it goes on a little longer. And then she says, okay, no film had ever undertaken these exact risks. Wasn't it time to try? No, Tippi.
Not at all.
It was never time to try.
Nope. When we talk about them getting the cats, they were told repeatedly, don't do this. This is a really bad idea. Because like lions, they're really territorial and the males will fight for dominance. Like that's like a thing, dude. They fight.
You can see that in the movie.
Paul, isn't it time to try?
To be fair, this country was founded by innovation. You know, if we didn't actually try, we wouldn't have gotten here. So mixing species together creates unpredicted aggression because tigers don't tolerate competition. Cougars, they're elusive predators and they get stressed by other larger cats. So like it's this perfect concoction of what you shouldn't do and what they did do. And like no enclosure is going to work. Like you can't just put them like 50 miles apart. Like the fact is this is a dumb idea. So let's get into the history. 1969, we talked about how they saw the house and they're like, let's make a movie where we put cats together. So they start writing the script. This is Noel Marshall and Tippi Hendren. They're trying to vet if this is even going to work. They're talking to lion tamers who are giving warnings saying that, yo, this is impossible. Do not try to do this. And so they ended up meeting Ron Oxley, who was an animal trainer, and he was actually introducing them to the big cats. He brought this cat named Neil over, and they both fell in love.
Neil.
Oh, I should also point out at this point in time, Noel and Tippi had like no experience whatsoever, like none. So they want to make a movie and they're like, we're going to tame lions, no prior experience, right?
I hate these people so much.
Please don't do that.
The fucking balls, dude. This is like if I went to go make an alligator film and just went out and collected alligators and thought I could fucking raise them. So anyways, this guy Ron comes over. He brings this cat Neil over. He's like fucking gigantic lion that's just fucking hanging out, going through their house. Tippi, kind of being the romantic of the group, like falls in love with this cat and she's like, I'm in. Noel is trying to be dominant and that's kind of his trajectory throughout this whole thing is I think he intends to like rule cats with his fists alone, like his fist in his anger. So in 1970, the script is finished and Noel and Tippi start collecting big cats illegally between like 1970 and 1972. And it starts with like Ron basically tracking down a cat owner. He's like, listen, I can get you a big cat. And so they get a big cat, right? Then they get 4 cubs. Then they start getting more cats. And basically they start becoming this resource for people who are like, they can dump their cats on them. And they're dumping like stray, like small domestic house cats. But then people are also dumping like big animals on them too. And there's a story of like an animal rights person coming up to the house. And they're like, hey, we already had some big cats. And Noel like closes the door and he's like, Tippi, grab all the other cats and take them and throw them over the fence. So she's running and like trying to hide the cats. And he just pulls out one cat and he's like, is this the cat you mean? And the animal rights guy's like, nah, all right, fine. But then he comes back later because you can't hide that many fucking big cats in a house. And they decide that they have to move to Soledad Canyon. Basically, they buy out this canyon because Noel's like, this is going to be the set for our film. And like the whole time, Tippi's like, this doesn't look like Africa. And he's like, well, I'm going to plant African plants here and make it look like Africa. At this point in time, they have a huge amount of cats and they start building barns. They have an animal hospital on site. They have a 10,000-pound freezer that they're storing all the food in there. When they were making the sets for the house, they had to take into account of having over 50 big cats in there. So they built the sets to be reinforced, even though they were destroyed.
Oh, yes.
But to hold up to 20,000 pounds of like living cat flesh, basically, which is insane.
Living cat flesh.
Yeah, they sunk, I think it was like 14 telephone poles into the ground.
Wow.
In 1976, they finally start filming. And so at this point, with all the cats that they have, they're spending about $4,000 a week on food alone. They were catering to a lot of the cats. Like, if you read the book, they talk about how some cats like chicken, some cats didn't like liver, some cats liked only giblets and stuff like that. So, like, they're just feeding these cats so much food and so much money. And they already, like, they kind of have some money, but they don't. They're waiting for the Exorcist money to come in. It's just crazy. During this whole production, supposedly no animals are harmed during it. And I got to say, like, reading the book from Tippi's perspective, it sounds like they did care about the animals. Like, when an animal had issues, like it had to go to the hospital, they had vets come on set. If one of them died from natural causes, they always got autopsies on the actual cats themselves. So I do believe that they did care about these animals, even though they were putting them in a wildly dangerous situation.
Like, at the same time as they care about the cats and respect them, they also have no respect for the cats at the same time. It's like, it's
absolutely.
a weird... I don't know how to explain it.
They were talking about how one cat had to get shots 4 times a day. And the vet's like, I'm not coming here 4 times a day. And so they're like, they had to teach Tippi how to do it. And she was like freaking out. And it's like, you have 50 plus cats on the site. You're gonna have to take care of them. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Right.
Well, and they talked about how they had to separate the cubs from the parents really early. It was like after a couple of weeks, I think. Because if
6
they
weeks.
didn't, then the 6 weeks, the animals would, you know, the lion would raise the cub to be wild. And so this is once again an example of where they care about the cats, but they're willing to they put themselves first. Like they want the cub, they want to be the mom to this cub or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So in 1978, a dam broke and it caused a flood. And so that ended up destroying much of the sets. But they did get most of the animals out except for 15 lions that did escape when the cages collapsed. During that time, there were some deaths that did take place. The lead lion, Robbie, was killed by a sheriff because when they were tracking him down at night, they thought he was going to attack because he was trying to protect a fellow cat named George. And so the sheriff shot him. There was a trailer park close by as well while they were filming, and 2 of the lionesses made it to that trailer park and freaked everyone out. And they didn't have any sedatives on them, so they ended up killing those 2 lionesses. The 2 lionesses were named Mary and Meline. Also during production, there was an airborne illness that went around and killed 14 lions and tigers. And they didn't really figure out what it was. It just started targeting lions and tigers, old and young, and basically wiped out a good majority of them. After the film, Tippi did start the Shambala Preserve, and so many of those cats ended up going to that preserve and they lived natural lives and they ended up passing away there. So kind of surprising that there weren't any more deaths, but yeah.
Even more surprising that there were no human deaths while they were making this movie, because
Yeah.
they're just lucky, honestly.
So the legacy to this entire cat life is Tippi did start the Roar Foundation and the Shambala Preserve. They've rescued over 230 big cats since, and in 2010, she actually won the Humane Society Lifetime Achievement Award. So to just quickly talk about some of the animal actors who were in this, there was the lead lion, Robbie, who was killed during that flood and was replaced by Zuru. The family had immense respect for him, and they were shattered when his death happened because he was the lead. He was like the heart of what they thought the lion pact was going to be. You have Togar. He came from a zoo, and he was kind of like the outcast of that zoo. And he was very standoffish when they first got him, but he ended up becoming a sweetheart until like basically a lioness would come nearby, and then he really wanted to get like his dick wet. Yeah, his lion dick. And he was a fierce father, and so he died of old age when he was about 19 or 20, and he was a lifelong friend of Tippi. And then finally, we didn't really talk about any of the elephants, but we had Timbo the elephant, who was known to be a troublemaker before he got on set. He was actually kicked out of 2 zoos, and he was the largest African bull elephant in the U.S. at the time.
Oh, damn.
And that boy loved beer.
Really?
If you read her book, you'll see photos of him just like fucking getting fed beer, basically. And they said, like, because he drinks like 50 gallons of water a day, they're like, we're not worried about him getting drunk off of a case of beer. The only thing I just wanted to mention was the cats' names were all over the spectrum, and my favorite cat names that I read were Peaches, Cherries, and Berries, and the 3 collectively were known as the Fruit Salad Group.
Oh, no.
This is the perfect time for some animal reviews.
Hell yeah. Let's jump into animal reviews. What did you guys think of the overall performance of the bazillion animals that were in the film? The rating scale I'm coming up for with this episode will be out of 5 roars, because it has to be roars, right?
Honestly, fuck it. They all get 5 roars because they were put in the stupidest situation of all time, and they managed to not kill each other. And that's what I can say about them.
I mean, we talked before about animals that just be animals, and so there's not really any acting. And so I would take away for that. But like you said, they were just thrust into this, and they were still just doing what they do, and they did, I guess, get out of it without killing people. So yeah, I'll give him a 5 as well.
Roar, 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 roar.
Oh, 5 roars. Sorry. Roar, 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 roar. 5 roars.
Yeah, I give them 5 roars. I mean, they looked like terrifying cats, and like that was enough for me.
I also give them 5 roars. I don't know, there was something about watching it. It was just jaw-dropping just to watch these animals be themselves, destroy the fuck out of that house. It was entertaining.
I'll now turn it over to Audrey to do some movie magic.
Get ready for movie magic.
So before I start, I'll just say that almost everything of this is from Tippi's book, Lions of Shambala, which we've mentioned before. Some of it is from the article Surviving Roar, the most dangerous film ever made, and the documentary about the movie. I sort of separated this out into like the years before they filmed and while they were filming. So before they filmed, they had to start rounding up big cats, which we talked about. They had to build their fake Africa place, which we talked about. They had to build all of the support stuff. But really, their plan was to use hugs, kisses, and soft words, according to Tippi.
How I talk to my kitties.
Oh, Tippi.
And as she put it in her book, we did not yet understand that certain lions do not wish to be hugged. So basically, they were just under the impression that if they just like got some baby lions and were nice to them, they would just love them. Which I think we saw that throughout their story, that they're fucking bonkers. So at one point, they did hire trainers, but the trainers held the old style of training, which used a lot of fear and isolation of the cats, and they were like, no, we're not doing this. So in classic Tippi and Noel fashion, instead, they hired young people locally to do maintenance work and then looked for the ones who were drawn to the animals.
Yep, because that's how you do it.
Tried and tested.
Yikes.
And some of those came to be their best trainers, and some of them realized that they didn't actually want a life with big cats. So
Well, see, it works.
It works, I guess. But apparently, of course, let's not isolate the big cats, but let's isolate the babies, because the only way to get them to be not wild is to separate them at 6 weeks to get them away from their moms. But that part's okay. So then they had to figure out some basic things, like how do you prevent a lion from killing you? Like if you say like, no, you need them to respond to the no and have them stop chasing you. So that was goal 1 for them to make this movie, basically. And so they found that holding a twig in their hand worked.
A twig.
Because it acted like an extension of their arm. And then eventually they moved on to hickory hog canes. So hickory wood.
I was hoping you were going to say like paper mache arms to like make their arms longer.
Some main giant arms.
Like dudes on stilts, basically.
Oh my God, I wish that's what they'd done, is just like had fake arms. No, they just used like a hickory cane that you use for a hog, like hog handlers. And she described this. I've been trying to picture it in my head. Maybe somebody else can, but she said holding a twig or the hog cane and scissoring their arms outward at an angle of about 45 degrees.
What?
Along with a shouted no would stop a charge. So good thing they've described it so well here.
Like a flight controller.
So anyway, too much weather, get away. So anyway, that was their first goal. And the other thing they figured out is that if they shook a piece of sheet metal or used a fire extinguisher with its, quote, whoosh, an innocent white vapor, that was like their next way of stopping if a cat was going to be a dickhole or whatever and try and kill them and do their natural instinct. So the basics they had to teach them was this no, and then how to walk beside a handler on a leash, and how to like sit and stop. So what you would teach, just like basic commands to a dog, essentially. They also had to figure out how to handle possessiveness, because as anybody who's ever been around a cat knows, they like to possess things. So like they might just be like, this shirt is now mine, and take it with them. And now that you've got to figure out how to get it back. And so that was something else that they had to figure out how to handle. An example they gave on the film set is that it turns out that lions love the sandbags that most film sets use to hold down the lights.
Oh, wow.
So they had to figure out how to deal with that. So then it came to like during filming, how are they going to handle these cats? There wasn't a lot of training. They trained very few scenes. They did a lot of just using the animal instincts and what they knew about the animals from living with them to get the scenes they wanted. So like, for example, if they needed the cats to move a short distance, they knew that like just put some food here or like scare them with sheet metal and they'll all run up the staircase or whatever. And you'll get this herd of lions running up a staircase. But then it became a problem because how do you get them to move longer distances? And they had these fences that they'd move around. But that was a lot of work. And so what they figured out is the best way really to do it is to make a human fence.
What?
Have everyone in the cast and crew hold hands and create a line for them to walk down. But don't worry, they put the handlers between the regular crew members in case one of the regular crew members freaked out and ran away.
Sounds more like a buffet than a fence to me.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That's what you have to do at work that day? Yeah.
And once they figured it out, it was all easy. To quote Tippi, like,
wow.
Come on. And they knew how to get the fights they wanted by introducing one group of lions to another or certain animals that they knew liked to fight. And she makes a note that the fights rarely involve true injuries. There's a lot of posturing and noise and talking, but that's usually it. I don't know if I would depend on that, but all right, Tippi. And then they knew that like the tigers like to spar in water. They just love to do that. So,
wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I know, right? They really like to play chicken, where like one tiger gets on the other tiger's shoulders and then they try and knock each other.
Wait, really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was believing that too for a minute.
No.
I had it in my mind of how that was going down.
She started and I was like, wait a minute.
No, but this does remind me of something that Tippi said about the lions, which I hadn't really thought about, which is that their manes weigh a shitload of weight, like weigh just like a lot. And so they're very top heavy, which means that you don't see them on their hind legs very often because they just can't like hold their stupid big heads up.
Aw.
I never would have thought of that.
I know. Okay, so anyway, And then they also know that cats love to destroy. So for the scene where they destroy the living room, they were like, let's just stick 5 cameras in the wall in case one gets destroyed and let the lions go in there and hang out and they'll destroy it. And in fact, they did, which was probably really fun for the lions. And I wish for them that could just be their life, is that they just got to go in and destroy rooms at all times. Okay, so then there were the trained behaviors. There were 2 examples she gave. One was they needed to train mock attacks against humans, which I don't think she talked about again, and I'm not surprised because I think they just used real attacks against humans.
That's what it felt like watching it.
Well, and we know that Noel got bit real bad.
There are 2 scenes where like the one scene we didn't talk about where he bites him through the hand and he actually has a hole in his hand.
And you can see the blood, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other scene where it bites him in the butt and it like takes him off the camera really quick. You can see it like pull him off screen.
Oh, yeah. Rips him off. Yeah.
Those moments were not movie magic.
Yeah.
No, they were not. They were real lions just attacking him because he's a fucking jackass. So anyway, the scene that she goes the most in depth into is training the tigers to ride in the back seat of a cut down 1937 Chevrolet. And what that means is it looks like a convertible, I think. So this took 7 weeks of daily work to get this scene, which I would say was not worth it, but okay.
7 weeks? That's a long time.
First, they put the car in where the tigers lived without the seats, because otherwise they'd destroy the seats. The tigers just got to hang out in there. They weren't going in enough for the filmmakers' taste, so they started throwing food in there.
As one does.
Yeah, after 2 weeks, they started tossing meat in the back seat. Then
That sounds like innuendo.
Yes, it does.
I kind of love that.
Okay, so anywho, after they tossed meat in the back seat to coax them in, they started training them to stay put in the back seat. Then during week 4, they started turning on the car for a few minutes at a time and finally driving them around. So that was the most trained scene in the whole movie. They also had handlers on set at all times. So anytime there was a big cat on scene, there were also handlers. They got professional tiger trainers from Marine World USA who worked on the tiger moat at Marine World. I don't know what that is, but apparently
I would like to know more.
I would also like to know more. And so the handlers, I don't want to watch the movie again, but I want to fast forward the movie again to see if I can spot a handler, because apparently they were camouflaged in green to match the vegetation in any scene with animals. So they would like walk the cats to the scene and then they would send the cat in whatever direction or get them to do whatever thing they needed to do. The other part of the movie magic of this movie is really just Jan de Bont and Noel, and that they were insane. Like, Noel liked chaos. He created chaos. That created the chaos of the movie. That was part of the movie magic, just the fact they were nuts. Can you guess the longest scene to shoot in the whole movie?
Was it when the elephant was destroying the boat?
I was going to guess something where they actually were talking because the people probably just sucked at acting.
Yeah.
Mel basically got it. It was the end scene where the family is rowing around the lake trying to escape. So that scene took months. When they were going around and the lion kept pulling them back, that was just the lions having fun. One thing they know about lions is that they love a good chase, and so if they would run, the lions would try and get them back, but I think they weren't expecting the lion to pull them back like every 2 seconds. And then there was the part where part of that scene was the elephant picking up Tippi and then dropping her back in the water. But they couldn't get that scene right. So like the first time she said she ended up with like on top of the elephant with the trunk between her legs, and she thought that was funny because it's like a giant, like prehensile peen. And so that was hilarious, according to Tippi. But they couldn't get that scene right. And she brings up that it never really occurred to them that maybe the reason the elephant kept dropping her on the shore is because it didn't realize she was acting. So like it would pick her up and she'd freak the fuck out. And so it would drop her back on the shore instead of in the water.
Oh, so it didn't understand acting. What a dumb elephant.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't tell the elephant beforehand.
Right. They did not brief the elephant on acting. And so
well, and he was probably sloshed too, so like,
Oh, that's right, all that beer.
He drank so much beer. And so this scene just took forever. And then, as Jordan said, they finally got it at the time when they messed up and crushed her ankle between its tusk and its trunk, and she ended up in the hospital, and they just played it backwards.
And it looked so stupid.
It did look weird.
Yeah.
The final movie magic that I have for you is that because filming took so long and they started in summer, the trees were no longer green. Like the leaves weren't green, the grass was starting to brown. So no problem. They just sprayed it all green. They just repainted. They painted
With
entire.
Whoa.
I guess. It sounded like maybe spray paint, which was
That's
kind
not
of
a bad
cheap.
idea.
It's
yeah.
not. It's not. It might have killed the tree. Well, maybe not because it was already going dormant. But anyway, yeah. So they sprayed all the leaves and any grass that was in an area that was going to be part of a closer shot.
This fucking movie's so frustrating because there's so many good ideas buried inside of like the worst ideas.
Pretty much.
Truly. And that, my friends, is the movie mayhem that ensued in this movie.
So I'll now turn it over to Melissa for some movie mischief.
Move over for movie mischief. Get ready for Fact or Fiction, a brand new part of my segment where I'll drop 3 facts about the movie, but one of them is completely made up. And it's up to you guys to figure out which one is fake. So, here we go with the 3. During filming, the crew experimented with different music and discovered that lions responded to Mozart, helping to keep them relaxed during some of the more intense scenes. Number 2, Nola and Tippi acquired a number of big cats from zoos, pet shops, circuses, private homes, and animal control officers, especially for the making of the movie. And lastly, the script was originally titled Lions, Lions, and More Lions.
Mozart is the fiction.
Mozart is the fiction. I say that too.
Mozart.
Well, next time I will make them so much harder that you guys will not be able to guess what's fake. But good job, guys. You got it. You got it.
I do wonder how a lion would actually react to Mozart. Like, I feel like they would probably just destroy the radio.
Probably. All right, guys. It's time for Surprise Scenario. So this one's going to be a little crazy, so bear with me, guys. Kind of fits, though, because the movie was really fucking crazy. But because all the big cats, like, live together in that house, I kind of got, like, Big Brother vibes from it. So hear me out. For this scenario, you each have to pick one famous big cat type character. And I mean, it can be from a TV show, a movie, a comic book, whatever. The character has to do with big cats.
Okay.
And we're all going to say one, and then we're all going to collectively vote who would survive if it was Big Brother, like who would be left in the house.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot to this one. We got to get our brains going, so.
I've got one. I'm ready. Scar from Lion King.
Perfect.
Craven the Hunter
No one knows what you're talking about.
from Spider-Man.
He has to do with cats.
He's a hunter and he has a lion on his chest.
Oh,
And he's played by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
wait, what?
Wait, like a real life? Wait, we need to back up. Like he has a real lion in his chest?
No, he killed a lion and he has like a lion vest.
I feel like that doesn't count because he's not a big cat.
Okay, so yeah, they don't have to be a big cat, but like,
He got bit by a lion and he has like lion powers.
oh, okay, yeah, no, 100%
All right.
that works.
Sounds good.
So can I say Chitara from the Thundercats?
Yes, that's perfect. And then I was going to say Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God, this is tough. Out of all those characters, who would survive the Big Brother house? We've got one lion and then 3 humanoid type people, so I don't know, man.
Well, and not even just a lion, a very mischievous lion. Like, I feel like Scar will fuck you up.
I kind of feel like he would win.
And also, I feel like he would be kind of insane in the cast of a Big Brother. Like, he'd be like, that bitch over there was telling me.
I can totally hear that in his voice, yes.
I just want to say that Craven the Hunter has a dead lion as a vest. So he's killed lions and he's hunting the dangerous prey of them all, Spider-Man.
Those who can't do where.
Bullshit.
Jordan, what do you think? We need your vote. I'm voting Scar.
Well, it's just which one's going to survive like all the votes? I think because they had to be likable. So I think Chitara is very likable and she has a bow staff. And she can run really fast.
She's hot.
Okay, but Scar is like...
I don't like Scar.
Scar's like the man that you love to hate.
What about Catwoman? She's hot.
I don't know.
Oh, can we put Noel in the house and he just dies?
I'm totally all for that.
Oh, fuck, he's gonna win.
He is the schemer.
True.
He would probably bang Catwoman and Chitara.
To show his dominance.
Probably Craven, yeah, to show his dominance.
And Scar.
Oh no.
So he's probably going to win and have like 1,000 half-human, half-lion babies.
I
so.
don't like where this has gone. Go away.
Do you think he ever fucked a lion, you guys?
Jordan!
You know, the sad thing is I honestly would not even be surprised at all.
Everyone would be like, yeah, he's doing it. It's Nolan doing this thing. Like,
Nobody would be surprised.
Oh, no, I didn't think he was going to make people watch.
Oh, I thought he would have filmed it for the movie.
Oh, no. Oh.
Tippi would have been like, I didn't think having sex with a lion was a good idea, but Noel just,
He convinced us. He made it work.
He told us he had to do it.
God damn it, if it wasn't the best thing I've ever seen. That's what everybody said in the documentary.
Okay, so we can all agree that Noel would have won if he was in this.
Yeah.
No.
I think he would have, unfortunately.
No, he would have died.
All right. It's time for Adopt, Take to the No-Kill Shelter, or Taxidermy. Everybody's fave. So the 3 I picked for this episode is Gary, which, to remind you guys, is Robbie's son, so the little cub.
Aww.
Gary, that was in the whole white, yeah. Motivo, because honestly, I don't think we talked about him enough, and I loved him.
We didn't.
And then the third option is the metal boat that Timbo destroyed.
Dude, yes.
Can we start with a quote from Tippi?
Of course.
Okay, from Tippi's book. I have a particular loathing for taxidermists and for those people who display stuffed trophies of the wild. None of our animals will ever receive that final insult. When death occurs, they are buried on the property, usually beneath one of the trees. This is as much dignity as we can provide.
Self-proclaimed saint.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I'm adopting Gary, 100%. I'm mounting the boat as if it were a stuffed animal that I had caught myself. And then I'm taking to the no-kill shelter, the third choice.
Motivo.
Oh, we do need to talk a little about that. I guess we already did say that he just seemed like he put up with a lot, and he looked like he was really stressed out.
He did. And he was the only, sane person in the whole fucking movie.
The only sane character in the entire movie. Just like, why are you doing this, man? Why?
And possibly the only sane person in the entire cast as well.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm basically in the same boat as Jordan here, except we're not in the crushed boat, but in just the scenario boat. So I would adopt little baby Gary, even though I know I shouldn't, just because this is fake, I'm adopting him. I'm sending Motivo to the no-kill shelter because I just want that man to go live a great life. And the boat, I am taxidermying, but I'm going to make it into a little hat for Gary.
Cute.
That's a big-ass hat for Gary, but I love it.
Well, I would shrink it. Little hat.
Little boat hat.
I'm going to adopt the boat because that would be sweet to have a boat. And, you could get one for free.
Yo, we have kayaks.
It's the destroyed boat, by the way, guys.
I'm still going to adopt that boat because I don't have a boat.
You have a kayak.
I have children that I need on a boat with me, all right?
It's a destroyed boat, though, so it doesn't work.
You can't use it.
I'll fix it up.
Would you rehab the boat? Okay.
Yes. I would send to the no-kill shelter Gary so that he gets a fresh life. So I'm not Tippi in this. I'm giving away the big cats. And then I'm taxidermy Machismo, or what was this?
Motivo.
Machismo.
No.
Okay, I'm taxidermying Motivo because, he went through so much shit in that movie where he looked like he was about to die. And to make it out to just be taxidermied, it's got to happen. It's my Saul scenario for him, right?
Honestly, playing off of that, I agree with you, Paul.
Why are you taxidermying him?
I am taxidermying him because, like you said, he's been through so much shit. He shit his pants through that whole movie having to work with all those big animals. We're just going to give him a peaceful rest.
Can we revisit the rules again? Is taxidermy, you don't have to kill him first. This is after he dies. You're taxidermying Paul and Melissa.
I'm not killing him. He'll hang out for a while, and then when he goes, I'm going to taxidermy him. And then I'm going to adopt Gary because he's adorable. And again, in this scenario, it's okay to have a baby lion. And then I'm going to take the metal destroyed boat to the no-kill shelter, so the animals have something fun to play with.
Right on, dude. Holy shit. Do you have anything else, Melissa?
Nope, that's it, Paul.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It was a great episode talking about a truly terrible movie, Roar. If you stick around with us next month, we're going to be doing the 1993 film Hocus Pocus, and we'll be covering the black cats to portray Binks.
Binksy.
For our spooky October episode.
Halloween.
Speed bump.
Yay. This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
So if you like this show, please feel free to give us a like or rate us or go to our Facebook and Instagram, talk about us. Just spread the word because we love producing the show and we want to keep doing it. And I want to give a final thank you to my co-hosts, Jordan, Melissa, and Audrey.
And thanks to Cody.
Thanks to Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
Thanks, Cody.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Hoofin It in Hollywood. This podcast has been produced by Paul, Audrey, Melissa, and Jordan. Please note that this content is intended for entertainment purposes only. We are not professional researchers, and the views and opinions expressed are our own. For more information and links to the resources mentioned in this episode, please check the show notes or visit our website at bit.ly/Hoofin-Hollywood. If you found this episode enjoyable and wish to support the podcast, we kindly ask you to like, subscribe, and leave a rating or review on your preferred podcast platform.